What's going on? Let's talk about the Able Carry Max EDC, the latest in Able Carry's lineup. So at 26 liters, it sits super nicely in between their Daily Plus, which is their 21 liter EDC bag, and the Max, which is their 30 liter travel one bag oriented option. So it begs the question, who is this bag for? Personally, I'm the kind of human that has one bag for like 90% of the things that I do, and then I have an embarrassing number of other bags for that other 10%. With that being said, and I know this is a bold statement, but if I had to get rid of all my bags and I could only have one, I think this would be the one I would keep. It's just such a versatile bag. If you're the kind of person that only needs a bag like for work, right? Like a laptop, tablet, water bottle, light jacket sort of thing, I think there's a lot of better options out there for you. But if you want one bag for everything and you're gonna use it for that, but you also want the flexibility of maybe having an extra set of gym clothes and shoes in here, or you wanna take it traveling for a 2-nighter and take nothing else, or one of the reasons why I was attracted to it, I am now a dad. I have a couple kids, and even though an 18 to 20 liter has always been that sweet spot for EDC for me, I find that now carrying their toys, snacks, all of that good stuff, that the bag ends up getting tight pretty quickly, so I wanted a little extra capacity. I do find that within Able Carry's lineup, if you could only pick one bag to do it all, this would be it for me for sure. So before I get into every nook and cranny of the bag, I do want to share like the 3 things that I really dig about this bag. Number 1 is that given the capacity of 26 liters, that's typically a little bit on the larger side for EDC. I was worried I was going to look like a Ninja Turtle. If you look at Evergood's CTB 26, for example, even the 20, the bag bulges out quite a bit. This bag is not bulky at all, given how much space it has. So if you compare it, for example, to the Air Tech Pack, this is an 18 liter bag, so 8 liters less than this. And while yes, this bag is a few inches taller, if you compare the depth of the bags, this bag bulges out significantly more. So this has 7.5 inches of depth. The CTB 26 is an 11.5, so like almost double. If you live in a very densely populated city where you're taking the subway or you're going to tight coffee shops, things like that very often, and you want something slimmer but with still a good amount of space, this bag does that really well. I'm 5'8", 140 pounds, so I'm not like a big guy by any means, but I feel like proportionate to my body, it does not look big by any means. If you have a larger frame where maybe a 20 liter bag is gonna look tiny on you, this is also great in that sense. The second thing I really appreciate about this bag is the external yoke pocket. So what I have found nowadays with bags is there's almost too much compartmentalization, like too many little pockets for little things that I don't really have that many to fit into. But what I don't get enough of is segmentation for my larger things. I end up having to throw anything big like my layers, my AirPod Maxes, just in the main compartment, and there's no organization. It's just like kind of got to grab things through it. But here with the external yoke pocket, I can throw my AirPod Maxes in there comfortably. I have space for other things. Or if I want like small layers, right? Like gloves, neck warmer, beanie, things like that I want to be able to easily access with a vertical zipper rather than having to open the whole entire thing just to get out. I think that's really nice that it gives you that flexibility. Of course, it's going to eat into the main compartment space, but I think just having the option to keep things segmented is a plus for me. This bag offers more than enough compartmentalization for your smaller things to keep things organized for both big and small things there as well. And then just the last thing that I love about this bag is how comfortable it is. I know this is not unique to this bag. Able Carry absolutely crushes it when it comes to comfort. And comfort is ultimately a very subjective thing. Me personally, like I said, I'm 5'8", but I have a shorter torso and longer legs. I know people have complained with this bag that these little corner flaps that are pretty stiff, that they can dig into your lower back. Similar things have been said about the Evergood CTB line. For me, I haven't experienced that. I can see how that could happen until you try it on. Like, I can't promise you that it's gonna be comfortable or uncomfortable in that way. But yeah, I would rank this first between Air and Evergoods from a comfort standpoint. So much of that is like, these straps are really nice and beefy, but they're also like really nicely padded. And then the foam padding here, like the mesh, a lot of air circulation going on. I've put a lot of weight into this bag and it still stays very comfortable. But yeah, with that being said, let's get into the bag itself. So this is obviously the ocean blue color. This one, the black, and the coyote all come with a VX21 X Pack, which is the more lightweight option. If you want the X42, which is the more heavy duty one, you would opt for the earth green. Me personally, like I really like all of the colors, but the green and the coyote are a little bit more tactical colors. I like those colors more in like hiking bags. I think the black and the blue, which has absolutely grown on me, the black was sold out. I probably would have opted for that one, but it's got this nice, rich, refined color that I feel like works really well in a commute setting and an office professional setting as well as an outdoor setting. But yeah, this is lighter than the X42, and honestly, it feels like super heavy duty. I wouldn't like need anything more rugged than this. So for people that might be concerned about like not getting the X42, I don't really think you need it. I think just shaving a few ounces is well worth it. And then you also have 1000D Cordura in the bottom of the bag, as well as in the back of the bag. The external yoke pocket, I already showed you the main compartment, but you also have right here this little hammock stretch mesh pocket that this is a theme throughout the bag where they incorporate the same stretch mesh, and it is so freaking delicious. Bellroy does a really good job with their stretch mesh, and this is nicer in my opinion. It is really supple, but it's thick, has really nice elasticity to it. I just love touching it, and I love that I get to touch it throughout the bag. Another place where you find that stretch mesh is in their quick access side pocket. The intention behind this pocket is being able to sling the bag around you without having to completely remove it to easily access your phone or your passport or your keys, things like that. I have some minor nitpicks with that I'll talk about later, but you have within it, like I said, that stretch mesh and a sleeve where you can stick something in there, and then there's just kind of like a main hole where you can put other things, but I don't like how open it is. I mean, it falls pretty deep, so it's kind of an awkward space for anything beyond just something thin that doesn't take up a lot of space there. Here you have Able Carry's classic stealth water bottle pocket. It fits 32 ounces. This is a 32 ounce hydro flask. One thing to keep in mind with this pocket is like, that wasn't too bad, like sticking it in. There's a pouch in here that is kind of getting in the way of it. If the bag's empty or you don't have anything that's taking up a lot of horizontal space, then it becomes really easy, like putting stuff in and out. But right now with the pouch in there, it's not as mindless as an external water bottle pocket where it just slides in and out. So I do like it in the sense that it keeps it nice and secure. You don't have to worry about it sliding out, you know, as you're going through airport security, things like that. You have that stretch mesh again with a nice gusset that conforms to the water bottle just to keep it in place. I think if you're using something smaller than a 32, like a 24, which is typically what I travel with, then you're totally fine, but just something to be mindful of. I've got mixed feelings about it. I mean, it's nice that you could use this pocket for other things, but yeah, I think still in the end of the day, I would rather just an external water bottle pocket holder that just slides water bottles in and out without me having to think much about it. One of my favorite things about Able Carry is their strap selection. The nylon webbing that they use for all of their straps, loops throughout the bag is really, really nice. It's the airplane style, overly engineered, overly bomb-proof nylon webbing. You have a little bit of padding here and here, but as far as like these hold points throughout the bag, I like that they've made the openings very easy to get your hands through. A lot of bags make this area kind of tight, so it's just a little cumbersome getting in there. But as you can see, manipulating the bag, picking it up, putting it through a luggage pass-through, things like that is wonderful. You have those straps here as well on the bottom part of the bag. On the back part, you have an easy access pocket here. It's pretty spacious, as you can see. The back padding is protecting it. So you can put valuable stuff in there and it's nicely protected. You could fit a full-size wallet, your phone, AirPods in there, all pretty comfortably. And it's nice that it's like closer to your body in a more concealed place. That way if you're traveling or you're in public, you don't have to worry about people snagging it. You have a little nylon loop here to hang your bag up. It's a little smaller than most hook loops, but yeah, I think it's nice. The one thing is it flaps down, and I have found I'm kind of sensitive with touch in certain areas, and yeah, sometimes like I feel it, like my lower neck area. Sometimes I don't, depending on how I put the bag on, but yeah, something to be mindful of. The straps themselves, you have the X-Pack on the front, and then you have this nice padded mesh material on both of the back of the straps. Again, this is like, I freaking love these straps. So freaking comfortable. And then you have a foam padded panel here that contours really nicely to the shape of your back. The sternum strap itself, you can micro adjust it with loops here, but one thing that I don't think I've seen this. Bellroy recently came out with this in their like transit work bags, but how they conceal the loops, right? So you can like unclasp, adjust the sternum strap, but then it keeps it nice and clean and clutter-free that way. The sternum strap itself is a fidlock magnetic buckle, which just like with one hand, you can so easily unbuckle and buckle it. Like if you're wearing gloves and you don't want to have to like take them off, this works perfectly for that rather than having like a standard clasp. Some of these magnetic fidlock buckles, it doesn't take a lot for them to undo, but as you can see here, like yeah, it doesn't like come undone or easily by any means. One last detail on the straps that I really appreciate is not the fact that they included a strap keeper, because I feel like that should be just standard in a $200+ bag, but usually strap keepers are such an afterthought, but like this is the nicest strap keeper I've ever felt. It is like the tension on the elastic, super strong, it's beefy, it's wonderful. So I just feel like just adjusting these straps, feeling that airplane material, moving that up and down is just a joy. Another huge quality of life improvement over the Daily Plus, which is something that the Max has, is this luggage pass-through using that same nylon material. All right, moving to the inside of the bag, you have a clamshell opening, which is really nice. The flap just stays in place so that if you want to put clothes for an overnighter, you can absolutely do that. On the inside of the bag, you have a 420D nylon ripstop, which is very nice, very luxurious. But my favorite part is the tablet sleeve here. That same stretch mesh, I want to say it's like even a little thicker here, but it feels so delicious. Like honestly, I wish my hand was just my entire body and these were sheets. There's something so therapeutic about how nice that feels. I also really like the cream color. Like I'm so over just standard gray on the inside liners of bags. And I think this color works really nicely with the blue. And then you've got here some compartments for your cables, smaller things. This is where I'm getting at, that the external yoke pocket, it's nice to have that for bigger things. Just in these two pockets alone, I can imagine you'd fit any small things that you would need, but there's a few other areas in the bag where you can store smaller things as well. You also have this like bonus pocket. I didn't even really notice it at first. Same delightful stretch mesh that you have here, but it's an interesting space. I feel like for an umbrella or something like that, it would work incredibly well because it's got that vertical space. Or if you want to store like a smaller, I don't know, it might be a little too small for any sort of thin water bottle, but maybe like a really like thin water bottle, you could also fit it in there. And then moving on to the laptop compartment of the bag, which is here. Easy access, so it's only like a quarter zip, fits up to a 17-inch laptop. You've got on the back pocket the zipper, and the main point of this sleeve is for the foam padding that goes on your back essentially and provides that comfortable support. I don't know why you would remove it, but you also actually have a little Velcro incognito pocket. So if you've got like some really valuable stuff and you want it very hidden and inaccessible, that's a good place to hide those things as well. And then you've got your little admin panel up here. I like that it only takes up like, I don't know, like 10% of the top part of the bag, so it doesn't really eat into the main compartment space. But in here, again, you've got smaller pouches using that wonderful stretch mesh. I've got a power bank, AirPods, loops, things like that. This is also probably the best place to throw your sunglasses because there is some padding. Just one caveat, I feel like if the bag is packed pretty tightly, then the fact that there is no protection from these harder things and where you might keep your sunglasses, it's not an ideal sunglass spot either. I think maybe the best place for sunglasses beyond that would be here in the yoke pocket in the little pouch, but then you got to make sure that nothing smashes up on that. But yeah, that's pretty much the bag. If you're trying to decide between this, the Daily Plus, and the Standard Max, a few things to keep in mind. So from the Daily Plus to this, there's some really important quality of life improvements, in my opinion. Number one, and most importantly, is the luggage pass-through. To me, that's like borderline a deal breaker with a Daily Plus. I get to an airport and the first thing I do is just slide my bag on top of my wheeled carry-on. Why am I gonna have that weight on my bag? The Daily Plus doesn't have it, the Max does have it. The zippers is another big point for me. I just love zippers that glide really well, and I feel like these are nice zippers. The reason why I feel like they're nicer than the Daily Plus is because the Daily Plus uses the YKK waterproof zippers. So if you live in a place like the Pacific Northwest where you want that extra waterproofness, these are not waterproof zippers. I don't need waterproof zippers. I prefer just Pilgrim churned butter smooth zippers. So that's another thing that this bag improves. And then another thing to note is that this bag has a strap here, like a handle strap, which the Max does, the Daily Plus does not. And I feel like I use it quite a bit, just like holding, manipulating the bag. So something to keep in mind. A difference between this bag and both the Daily Plus and the Max is that this one has the tablet sleeve in the main compartment, but then it has the laptop compartment sleeve in a separate compartment. I wish they were together. Like, you're going through airport security, you need to take both out. Like, why have to go through two different compartments to get there? Whereas the Daily Plus and the Max have both of those together. In my seemingly never-ending quest for the perfect bag, which I know is a mythical, elusive thing, this bag actually comes pretty close to it. I do have a few nitpicks that keep it from being the perfect bag for me. Number one, and most importantly, is that this bag does not stand on its own very easily. I have figured out a way where it does because I borderline returned it, but it's one of those things that once you've had the luxury of a bag that you can mindlessly plop in any level or unlevel floor, and it will just very easily stand up, and when you want to access things, they're perfectly vertical. This bag, even when you've figured out how to get it to stand, it still wants to go forward, right? Like there, I placed it like a cairn, and look, it still wants to go forward. It's just something that I wish this bag had. What I did figure out is if you have something in the main compartment, right, like a pouch, instead of putting it vertically, it doesn't have to be a pouch, but just anything that helps flatten the fabric in the bottom, I have found that there, the bag stands. It still doesn't take like a ton for it to topple over. It still angles like this, but it's a workaround that I think is a worthwhile compromise for me. The second thing that is just a minor nitpick, but I'm just confused because the Daily Plus and the Max have it, but there's no pen sleeves anywhere on this bag. On the other two, they're on that stretch mesh where the tablet sleeve is. This one, you just don't have a dedicated place really for your pens. I have found in the little hammock here in the external yoke pocket, makes for probably the best place for pens in the bag, but it's just like a very easy thing to solve for. I'm surprised why they didn't. And then just my last thing is this side access pocket. So something unique with this one that they didn't do with the others is that the key clip is here, but the way they stitched it on, it's stitched under the sleeve where you would put anything in here. So if you want to put your phone right, like, oh, I actually did it pretty well right there. But I have found that you have to do it, you have to like think about it a little bit, right? You have to kind of make sure that the key clip is not in the way, and when you pull it out, this comes out with it. If you've got your keys in there, then it becomes a bit of an obstacle, so it doesn't end up being the easy access pocket that it was designed for. But yeah, but all in all, I do think Able Carry absolutely knocked it out of the water with this bag. I think like for me, like maybe taking exactly what this bag did and then just making like a, I don't know, like a 22 liter, 23 liter of it would be the freaking perfect bag if they could make it to stand. Just in the sense that it has those nice things that the Daily Plus does not have, like the side strap, the luggage pass-through, the non-AquaGuard YKK zippers. But all in all, if you are just looking for one bag to do it all, and that it will be a good jack of all trades for you, and you are vibing with the Able Carry design language, because it can be very polarizing, I feel like this is a really, really wonderful option. Cheers. Best of luck.